Today, something utterly unexpected shook Jerusalem and left even the oldest residents speechless. In the early morning hours, as the first pilgrims walked towards the banks of the small stretch of river that crosses the historic area, an unusual glow began to spread across the surface of the water. Many thought it was just the reflection of the sun on the wet stones, but within minutes, the glow intensified to the point of resembling liquid gold flowing before everyone's eyes. The murmur spread. Quickly, the river turned to gold. This is a divine sign. And, as always happens in Jerusalem, a city where any simple event takes on prophetic weight, this has become the question the whole world is now asking. After all, what is really happening in Israel? Why do such strong signs seem to appear precisely now, at a time of international tension involving Iran, the Middle East, and the very survival of Israeli territory? When the videos began circulating, thousands of people started comparing this phenomenon to ancient prophecies about rivers, supernatural lights, and manifestations that would precede times of change. Curiosity took over the streets. Pilgrims said they had never seen anything like it. Residents said it could only be related to the prophetic cycles mentioned by ancient rabbis. And scholars from all over the world began to analyze every detail, trying to find logic in something that surpasses any common explanation. And this is where things start to get even stranger, because this supposed river of gold is not just a beautiful visual effect. It appeared precisely in a week that was already full of omens, rumors, and events that directly affect prophecies about the end times, the spiritual rebirth of Israel, and the period of conflict that would involve Jerusalem. Coincidence, perhaps. But when we talk about Jerusalem, coincidences have a habit of revealing much larger messages. Since the beginning of the year, mysterious signs have been appearing. In Israel, lights in the sky, above the Mount of Olives, subterranean sounds detected near the Western Wall, unusual movements in Middle Eastern politics, reminiscent of descriptions of wars and alliances predicted in prophetic texts. And now, this river shining like gold before hundreds of witnesses. The most curious thing is that ancient rabbis, especially those who wrote about the signs preceding great spiritual changes, mentioned phenomena involving water and light, as if creation itself were trying to warn of something. It is no surprise that many pilgrims interpreted today's event as a kind of divine warning, a call for the world to turn its eyes to Jerusalem, precisely at a time when tensions between Israel and Iran are reaching levels that many analysts classify as the most dangerous since the last decade. But the question that's really puzzling everyone is, why now? Why precisely at this time when so many conflicts, spiritual upheavals, and geopolitical events seem to converge? On the Holy Land, many theologians who study prophecy say that, in times of great transformation, unusual signs always appear in creation. Earthquakes, sudden climate changes, inexplicable phenomena, and of course, manifestations involving rivers, mountains, and light. What if this is precisely what we are seeing now? A sign that can no longer be ignored. When hydrology experts tried to explain the phenomenon, no answer seemed convincing. Some spoke of minerals, others of specific lighting, but none could justify such clear videos from different angles, showing the same intense glow running through the water. It's as if nature itself had decided to manifest itself in a way that forces even the most skeptical to stop and look twice. Jerusalem has that power. Nothing there is just a natural event. There, everything is connected to history, spirituality, past wars, promises of the future, and prophecies about the return of decisive times. And here's another point that's making people even more uneasy. Some pilgrims reported that, right when the water began to glow, a deep sound, like a distant echo, was heard coming from the area around Mount Zion. Those present described this sound as something that didn't seem human, didn't seem like wind, didn't seem like the work of machine. No equipment clearly recorded the sound, but several people heard it at the same time, which makes everything even more mysterious. These reports are being compared to the sounds that have appeared in viral videos in recent years, those called trumpet sounds, which many associate with the prophecies of the apocalypse. And what's most striking, these sounds always appear during periods of global tension. Isn't it strange that a similar phenomenon is now emerging precisely in Jerusalem? Meanwhile, geopolitical experts say that Israel is entering one of the most decisive years in its history. Silent wars in cyberspace, direct threats from Iran, unexpected moves in the US, tensions between Middle Eastern countries all. This creates a scenario that, for those familiar with biblical prophecy, increasingly resembles the prelude to the events mentioned in the books of Ezekiel, Daniel, and Revelation. And when signs appear in nature at the same time as political and spiritual crises intensify, the narrative becomes even more powerful. It's impossible not to think of something bigger. What is happening in Jerusalem cannot be seen as just another viral video. The city carries a history marked by miracles, wars, revelations, and signs that have changed the world. And there is a feeling in the air perceptible even to those who are not religious that we are entering a different time, a time of transition. Perhaps it is just the beginning of something bigger that will be revealed in the coming months. Perhaps it is a warning for the world to stop, observe, and reflect. Or perhaps it is a silent announcement that the prophetic clock is ticking faster than we imagine. Any case, the river turned to gold is not just a visual phenomenon. For many, it is a call, an invitation to look at Jerusalem more closely, to reflect on what is happening spiritually, politically, and historically, and, above all, to ask, why are so many signs appearing precisely now? Why does the Holy Land seem to want to speak? Why do nature, politics, and prophecy seem to converge at a single point? And now, I want to hear from you. What do you think really happened? Do you believe that this river shining like gold is just a natural phenomenon? Or could it be a prophetic sign, a warning, a spiritual alert? Comment below with the phrase, ... double quotes, Jerusalem is speaking, if you believe that all of this has a meaning, or comment, understand more, if you want me to make more videos explaining everything that is happening in Israel, the Middle East, and the prophecy. Your opinion is essential for us to continue delving deeper into these mysteries together. What makes it all the more unsettling is that, after that episode in the river that shone like gold, several independent researchers began reviewing recent records from Jerusalem, searching for other details that might have gone unnoticed. And it was precisely in this process that surprising new information began to emerge, creating an even more complex mosaic that reinforces the idea that we are not facing just one isolated event, but a set of signs that seem to connect in an impressive way. Small phenomena that would previously have been ignored now take on new meaning, and each fragment reveals something that leaves anyone thoughtful, as if a message were being pieced together little by little before our eyes. The truth is that, when something happens in Jerusalem, nothing should be underestimated, and this becomes even clearer when we analyze what began to occur in the following hours. Witnesses reported that the atmosphere in the city seemed different, as if a strange silence hung over some areas. It wasn't an absence of sound, but an almost physical sensation that something invisible was moving there, like a weight born from the air itself. This drew attention because such phenomena are frequently described by pilgrims during spiritually intense moments, especially in places directly linked to the prophetic history of Israel. And this detail only becomes more intriguing when we cross-reference these accounts with the unusual behavior of animals in the region. Several residents said that birds simply changed their routes, forming patterns that no one could explain. Some groups of birds repeatedly circled over specific areas of the ancient city, as if guided by something only they could perceive. The most curious thing is that this type of behavior has been noted at other significant moments throughout history, precisely when unusual events were about to happen. Meanwhile, other people began reporting intense dreams and symbolic visions on the same night the river glowed. The point isn't that this Israel Jerusalem has always been surrounded by spiritual significance, but rather the fact that countless unrelated people described similar images. Lights piercing dark skies, ancient structures opening like portals, and a profound sense that something is about to be revealed. When distinct dreams begin to converge in the same direction, many rabbis and scholars see this as yet another sign that movements are occurring on a level beyond the natural. Psychology may attempt to explain it, but even the most skeptical admit that the synchronicity of these accounts is, at the very least, impressive. And that's precisely why a group of researchers decided to pay closer attention to the behavior of vibration sensors installed at strategic points in the city, especially near archaeological areas. What they discovered was surprising. On the same night as the river phenomenon, the ground registered micro-vibrations that didn't seem to correspond to any known natural tremor. There was no earthquake, no explosion, no identifiable tectonic movement, but something pulsed beneath the earth, and this pulse was captured by different equipment. This raises an inevitable question. Why would the ground tremble at short interval, precisely during the same period when so many other manifestations were occurring simultaneously? This anomaly has reignited old discussions about mysterious underground structures that many believe exist beneath Jerusalem's sealed chambers, corridors, excavated thousands of years ago, and sites mentioned in religious texts that have never been officially found. Some theorists claim that some of these areas hold secrets that could change not only the understanding of faith, but the very history of the world. And when the ground shows signs, however small, it rekindles speculations that have been dormant for decades. But what really unsettled people was the account of a group of pilgrims who, that same morning, claimed to have seen a flash of light, rapidly appearing on the horizon, just behind the Mount of Olives. It wasn't an ordinary flash. They described it as a light that seemed to expand and then contract, as if breathing. No monitoring equipment captured this glow, and yet dozens of people saw it. And this is something that repeats itself from time to time in Jerusalem. Phenomena visible to many eyes, but inexplicably absent from official images. Some say this is because the nature of certain signs is not meant to be captured by machines, but only perceived by people. These accounts also coincide with sudden weather events that no one expected. Strong winds began blowing in specific regions, while other areas remained completely stable. A sudden change in temperature caused many to feel intensely cold for a few minutes, even under the sun. And, when everything happens at the same time, it's hard not to think that creation is pointing to something beyond simple coincidence. The sum of the events is what draws attentions, small pieces forming a larger picture. And this is where we enter one of the most surprising parts. Records from ancient rabbinical schools speak of a period in which nature would become the main messenger, alerting Israel and the world to times of transformation. Little-known texts mention exactly this pattern: sparkling water, unusual winds, subterranean sounds, and quick flashes of light in the sky, as if Jerusalem itself were trying to awaken those who are distracted. These descriptions, if read in isolation, would seem poetic, but now, in light of current events, sound almost like a prediction being fulfilled. And while all this is happening, the political climate in the region is becoming even more tense. International analysts are already warning that recent gestures between Iran and various allied groups point to an inevitable escalation. Israel is reinforcing its borders. Planes are circulating more than usual, and the government is convening emergency meetings with unusual frequency. If all this was already noteworthy before, now, in light of these phenomena, the scenario takes on another dimension, as if signs of nature and political movements were walking hand in hand, building a decisive moment in history. And what many still haven't realized is that Jerusalem has always been the center of humanity's greatest spiritual shifts. Whenever something significant was about to happen, manifestations arose, but perceptible signs, collective feelings, inexplicable movements. What we are seeing now may be, once again, the beginning of something we still don't fully understand, but it awakens that profound feeling that there is more happening than what we can see. That is why many pilgrims describe walking through the streets in these last few days as feeling as if the air is denser, heavier, vibrating with a silent expectation. Some say they feel as if they are living through a prophetic chapter, as if something is about to be revealed, not explosively, but gradually, like a veil being slowly lifted. It is the same feeling that has permeated generations during pivotal moments in Israel's history. And when that feeling returns, it usually means the Holy Land is preparing for something big. Nothing that is happening can be ignored. Small details that previously seemed irrelevant now become clues, and each new clue leads to an even bigger question, echoing in the minds of everyone following these events. Why is everything converging right now? Why do signs, politics, nature, and spirituality seem to align like pieces on an invisible chessboard? The truth is that there are moments in history when everything falls into place, and perhaps this is one of those moments.